Listen, I wanted a Peloton as much as you, but these things with all the accessories can get up to be like $3,000, and you have to wait sometimes months to actually get it if you do pay that price. And then you gotta pay 40 bucks a month when you bought the bike. We're gonna hack this. Hi guys, certified nutritionist Samantha Souza here. I help people end the cycle of yo-yo dieting for good. If you're curious about my free training on how I do that, I teach you one of the biggest secrets in the nutrition space. You can sign up for that down below. It is absolutely free. Also, if you haven't watched my weight loss journey video, go ahead and check that one out next, because if you're on a journey and that's why you're here, maybe we can relate a little bit more. And once you know my story, you'll kind of have a better point of reference, you know? But today we are talking about my Peloton hack. And it's not like I invented it. There's a ton of videos about this bike on YouTube. That's how I came to find out about it, because if you're like me, you're stuck in a COVID world, quarantine, especially here in Los Angeles, which is where I live. The gyms are not open. I signed up for a gym membership and then it ended up being all outside, and with how windy it is here, it's not a fun experience, and I found myself dreading it and yet wanting to be mobile. I work from home. I've always worked from home, so that's not anything new. I was really intrigued by the Peloton, but with that crazy price tag, I mean, right out the gate, these bikes at the very least are around $2,000, and then you get all of these other things that you need in order to use the bike. It really does add up, and I'm somebody who doesn't have that kind of money, and I still want the experience. So I did tons and tons of research, and I thought I would pass that research on to you. I've had my bike now for 2 weeks, and I want to get into how I did basically hack a Peloton for around $450. I've never ridden a Peloton myself, so I can't directly compare, but I have done a ton of research on the Peloton experience, and I can sort of talk to you about that. But if you can spend $450 or even less, I'll tell you how to do that too, versus $2,000 to $3,000, I think it's worthwhile. First of all, a little bit about me. I've never done a spin class prior to wanting this bike or trying the bike, considering getting a Peloton. So I wasn't about to drop thousands of dollars on something I wasn't even sure I was gonna like. I'm also not a cardio junkie. I advocate for heavy lifting to all of my clients. And so this isn't really necessarily in my wheelhouse. So before I invested, my thought process was, if I can hack this fairly well and get a good idea of if I like it, then I'll do this for a little while. I gave myself a 3-month amount of time before I could even consider buying the full-blown Peloton. I'm going to be doing a series on my channel about my journey with my hack, as well as if I do end up getting a Peloton, but there will be a Peloton series. Make sure you like this video and hit the subscribe button and the bell down below so you can keep up to date with all of my Peloton hack and potentially Peloton adventures from here on out. We're going to be discussing not only how I created my Peloton hack, but the pros and cons of having the hack versus having the Peloton, and in general, just my experience thus far, 2 weeks on the bike. I will be doing more in-depth videos, like I said, from here on out, chronicling my journey with this, but this is what I know so far, and that's what I'm gonna pass on to you. First things first, what do you need to hack the Peloton? Well, upon my research, what I really wanted was something that not only was super heavy duty and high quality, something that I intended to ride every day, needed to be not just the cheapest bike on the market. There are tons of spin bikes on Amazon, Walmart, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. You can find some really quality bikes that people are getting rid of, especially right now. It's January. A lot of people got Pelotons for Christmas, and now their hacks are being sold. And what's great is that potentially the resale on some of these bikes, if they're a high quality, highly sought after bike, you can probably make a lot of your money back if you are somebody who decides to upgrade to the Peloton later on. I ended up buying my bike brand new only because I drive a Fiat, and going anywhere to pick up a pre-assembled bike on Facebook Marketplace was not gonna happen for me. So unless I got somebody to deliver it, it was going to be a journey. A Fiat is basically the size of the red car emoji. So that's the only reason why I spent a little bit more, but trust me, You can find a quality spin bike used on Facebook Marketplace for probably half the price and hack a Peloton for more, closer to around $200. The other thing that I was looking at when researching, comparing to a Peloton bike, not all spin bikes are created equal. So when you're considering buying your bike to mimic a Peloton experience, I want you to take a few things into account. One, the weight of the flywheel, which means how hard it is to get this sort of flywheel going. That is indicative of the weight of the flywheel. So you wanna get something similar or in the range of what the Peloton bike is to really, truly, authentically mimic the experience. This one is a 49-pound flywheel, I believe, which is considered pretty heavy. And in my opinion, the heavier, the higher the quality. So it's 49 pounds for this flywheel. Nobody, as far as I could find, I couldn't find the actual weight of the Peloton flywheel, but I can almost guarantee you that it's around the 30 to 35 pound range. So at least if you're looking on Amazon, there are a couple like $100, $150 bikes on there. Again, I think with something like this, you are going to get what you pay for. But again, I think Facebook Marketplace might be the best option in terms of quality and then price kind of coming together. So that's the thing to take into account. The other thing you want to take into account is just because it's an exercise bike doesn't mean it's a spin bike. So it needs to be a spin bike, you guys. This is gonna be crucial. Not all exercise bikes where you just lay down and you're pedaling like with your legs in front of you. I see those at the gym. That's not the move, that's not it. It needs to be a spin bike, something you can stand up in, things like that. So again, be aware. The next thing you want to take into account is it a chain drive or a belt drive? Because a chain drive is going to be loud, it's going to be noisy, it's not going to be as high quality of an experience, it's not going to be the smooth belt movement on the flywheel that the Peloton bikes have. So that's another thing to take into account. Something that I didn't take into account when purchasing this bike, because it tends to be much, much, much more expensive, is the difference between the resistance being dictated by a pad or something that's like physically creating friction to make the resistance harder for you versus a magnetic resistance. A Peloton bike uses a magnetic resistance, but that tends to be a huge increase in price in terms of hundreds of dollars more usually. Maybe you can get a good deal for maybe $100 more, and if that's something that's worth it to you, then that's fine. Most people in my research don't experience a huge quality difference between a resistance with a pad and a magnetic resistance, even though the magnetic resistance is a little bit fancier and more in line with the Peloton bike. So if that's something that's you're considering, take that into account. Now, when I looked up a lot of videos about people's experience comparing their bike's experience, the most universally widely accepted brand for a Peloton hack was the Sunny Fitness bike line, and more specifically, the bike that I bought, which is the B1002, to make sure that it's the one with the belt drive, like I said, not the chain drive. So that's what I ended up buying, and I'm really happy that I did. It's a very high quality bike. It has a very sturdy feel to it. The handlebars are exactly like the Peloton one. This bike has a 275-pound limit on it, so you won't be like falling off or anything if you're within that weight range. If you are somebody who is heavier than that, it's not that you can't use the bike, but you just need to be a little bit more careful and or find a bike with a heavier limit. They do exist also within the Sunny line or in any other line that you could possibly be considering. But those are some things that I would advocate for when considering to buy what bike you're going to use to actually achieve this hack. So now that you've got the bike, let's talk about what you need to make it accessible to Peloton. The most important thing I can advocate for you when hacking your Peloton experience is to get a cadence monitor. The Wahoo cadence monitor tends to be the most popular. It's $39 on Amazon. This is the thing that measures how quickly you're actually pedaling. Not your speed per se, but how fast the pedals are going around, which is something slightly different. This is, in my opinion, the most important thing when it comes to hacking your Peloton experience. Could you go and just take the classes on the app and have the bike and just sort of guess your cadence? Absolutely, but I feel like having this cadence monitor makes the biggest difference in terms of me really feeling connected to the class, being able to judge my output, especially because on most bikes, you cannot gauge what number your resistance is the way that you can on the Peloton. I'll get more into that in the pros and cons in a second, but you will need this Wahoo cadence monitor. It doesn't have to be the Wahoo brand, but what's great is it comes with an app. I can see how quickly I'm moving, and then I can, coordinate that with the class that I'm taking, and it is a huge part of having the Peloton experience. Now, the last thing you're going to need is a sort of either iPad holder, phone holder, TV monitor, etc., so that you can actually watch the class. So if you're going to use the Wahoo Cadence monitor and use your phone like I do to actually watch your cadence, you're not going to be able to actually use your phone also to do the class. So that's something to take into account as well. So maybe you'll have one little holder that you will need for your phone and maybe another for your iPad that's a little bit bigger if that's what you're going to use. Or you can do what I did, fancy version, and I bought a Amazon Fire Stick. You might already have something like this, or a Roku or a smart TV, and this might not even be a part of your total cost, and you can put it on your TV using the Peloton app. Now the Peloton app is, I believe, $12.99 a month, and you have access to all of the classes, which is weird because when you actually own the bike, it's $39 a month. You would think it would be cheaper if you own the bike, but it's not. So I did purchase a Amazon Fire Stick because I have a TV in this workout room that is not a smart TV, so I needed some way to have the classes. So for me, it was just having something that held my phone on the bike that I attached. I got it for like $4 on Amazon, and then I bought the stick and I just watched the classes on my big screen TV, and you can do that too. It really just depends. And also, if you have the ability to send your class to your TV through a smart connection, then you won't need the dual system either. So those are the things that I feel like you really need. I will have the links to all of these items down below. They're gonna be Amazon links. But what's great about Amazon is put it in your wish list and ask for alerts when the price changes, because this bike was anywhere from $400 to $300 given the time that I was looking at it during my research. So I ended up getting it for around $350, but really price shop around if you are going to buy it new. I'm gonna give you my 2 weeks in sort of pros and cons. In terms of the experience, I'm going to get more in depth in that in my upcoming video. Make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on that video. But for now, I'm going to give you the total cost of what I put into my Peloton hack experience. So my bike was about $350. I spent $4 on a bike seat and $4 on a little phone like holder on there. It's $13 for the app, but right now they have 2 free months, so I'm not even paying that right now on the Peloton app, and then subsequently it will be $13 a month. Then I spent $39 on the Wahoo sensor. I spent $15 on little 3-pound weights so that I could do the arm workouts that some of the classes have that just sit in the bike and my water bottle holder. I spent $29 to get the Fire Stick, but that might not even apply to you. So overall, it was around $440, give or take. And it could be even cheaper for you depending on how you get your bike, if you get it used, if you already have a smart TV to link it to, if you already have something that can hold your phone that you can attach to the bike. There's about a bike seat, you might not even want that. You could probably do this for less than $400. You can maybe even make it closer to $300. But to me, $400 versus $3,000, absolutely. The classes are incredible and you have the access to them for actually cheaper not having the bike. This is the thing I can never understand. It's $13 a month if you don't have the bike, and it's $39 a month if you do. I absolutely love my Sunny B002. All right guys, later Samantha here with my Rose Apothecary sweatshirt. If you know, you know. But I just wanted to cap the video here so that it didn't get too long. But if you found this video interesting so far, I will be putting up another video right after this one that is all about the pros and cons of doing the hack as opposed to just succumbing to buying the Peloton. I go through all of my personal experiences, how I mimic the class in terms of the actual output, how I try to measure resistance and compare it to the resistance of the Peloton here on the Sunny bike. I go into all of that in my next video, so make sure you are liking this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when that video does go live, you will be notified and you can catch up on all of my new Peloton content as well as the rest of my nutrition, keto, general health, mental well-being content here on my channel. Leave me a comment down below if there's anything else that you would like me to cover in terms of my Peloton hack journey. I'm happy to do that for you, and I will be continuing this series over the next couple of months just so we can see kind of where I fall since now I've tried this hack. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.